They almost, Daniel, got to learn how to use Victor Gyokeres at the top of the pitch.
I think so, yes. I really do. Why? Because when you are an attacker who's, used to doing certain actions, and I think Saka is used to playing a certain way and doing specific types of things. Likewise, the player on the left wing, and they've been playing with a striker in Havertz who's very different to Gyokeres. It does take time to get used to that player's runs. He's going to have to also alter his game. It's not just about the team changing for him, it's about him changing for the team also, and understanding how he's going to perform best. The manager's going to have to implement certain things on the training pitch. He's going to have personal conversations, and that's what it takes for you to hit the ground running.
So how did you adapt your game when you went from different clubs, from Man City to Bolton to Chelsea to Liverpool?
I think it's, again, the conversations, understanding who you're playing with. So, for instance, when I was at Chelsea, I was playing on the wing. So I knew Didier would like certain types of passes or crosses, and Torres was different to him, so I had to play different with Torres. And Anelka would be different, and maybe you could change positions with Nico a little bit. Likewise, when you talk about Bolton, I was up front with Kevin Davis, so flick-ons, okay, cool, I'm big man, little man vibe today. Old school, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you go to Liverpool, where it was me and Louis to start with, and again, it's like you're both almost playing in a split strikers thing. I view it as Gyokeres is used to playing a specific way with Sporting Lisbon. He's throughout his career, I think he's a traditional centre forward who's going to make runs in behind. He's a strong player. He's got pace. He's powerful, and his game is predicated on that power and those first yards of making a run to get himself in a position to get a shot off.
And he missed a lot of pre-season, didn't he? He did miss a chunk of pre-season with all the transfer speculation. I don't think he was training. So you think another few more games, he might get up.
He didn't look sharp today.
Yeah, he didn't.
We can show you his touch map, and this maybe, Micah, suggests that he and Arsenal are some way from unlocking his real potential. I think we've got 3 touches in the opposition box, and for context, I think Šeško coming on late in the game actually had 4 touches in the opposition box. And just to add on Gyokeres, it's the first time in a league game since he left Coventry that he's not actually had a shot at a game.
Yeah, I think Roy mentioned it. He's come back late pre-season. You'd like these touch maps to be a little bit better, but do you expect someone to be the sharpest on the first game of the season? Danny makes a great point about how to adapt to the team. I think he's a striker where he plays wing backs and he just makes that run. I think Arsenal, the way they want to play that intricacies through the mid-block, and then Havertz getting them the ball and all them sort of things. But today he just looked a little bit frustrated. And that was not just Arsenal. I think it's because when Man United at times last season, they was dropping off, but Luke Shaw was engaging really tight. He knew exactly what he had to do. I thought Euro was good for a young player as well, reading the game, reading situations. And I thought the atmosphere was just a lot for him today. I think it'll be different once he goes to the Emirates, and he's got the home team behind him.
Leeds United next week. He'll be looking forward to that.
Of course. And he struggled today, but we didn't expect him to be at his best today anyway,
This is the start that we've referenced a couple of times, that Mikel Arteta's side. Yes, a new promoted team next week in their first home game, but then after that, before the international break, away to Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, who looked good today and it made it very difficult for top sides last season, then City, then away to Newcastle, where they lost last season, have found it tough in recent seasons. But will they look at those differently because of the fact they've got off to a winning start here? Yeah,
and listen, it's top, most teams have difficult starts. You can't look at any game and think it's going to be easy. But from Arsenal's point of view, the sign of a really good team is when you're not at your best to win football matches. The worry for me a little bit in the second half, and the manager mentioned it there, is that there were opportunities to really go at United, and it was just we're not about difficult passes, sometimes it's just a simple pass or a simple run. It seemed awful from that point of view. But if you can win when you're not at your best, then that's a big plus. But going forward, when you're competing, you're trying to compete now with the likes of, obviously, we see Liverpool and Man City, they seem to have that more of a, they want to go for that second goal or that third goal, whereas Arsenal are still a bit, we got 1-0, we maybe hold on to it. And that kind of backfired a little bit last year when we go back to it, they had too many draws. And too many draws won't win you league titles, and that's where they have to improve. So when we see them next week, if they're 1-0 up against Leeds, that they're really clinical, and obviously Leeds at home is a different animal to Man United away, no doubt, as much as United are struggling. So I think Arsenal will need to find that, and we didn't see it today, and that's the first day of this season, to be really clinical in their play and really go for the second and third goal. Don't be hanging back and thinking we'd hold on. They've done that last year and it cost them.
I think that they need to score different types of goals to take the next step. more penetrative passes in the central areas, which in turn will give Gyokeres more opportunities to score goals. I think a lot of the goals he will end up scoring will be goals like Haaland scores, which is one-touch finishes in the box, crosses coming in, headers, poaching in the 6-yard box. I think he also thrives off of, similar to Haaland does though, in that those penetrative passes around the box, which is going to give him the chance to make that burst over a few yards to get his shots away.
And will Zubimendi help with that as well, when he's got a bit more time and a bit more space?
For sure.
Yeah, well, they scored a goal exactly like that in pre-season, where it was cut back, it went out wide, it come back to Zubimendi, first time cross, and Gyokeres was there to head it in. So it's just about building.
And when you're a big, strong man like that and you do miss pre-season, sometimes for the bigger lads who are big units, and he's a big, strong boy, he's like an old-fashioned striker, you definitely need a bit more time to kind of get up to speed. Sometimes the slider lads are a bit sharper up here, but for the big lads, it just takes a bit longer to get back in the swing of things.